Now let's have a look here at 2015, question 10, part B. At a glance, this is a question that looks horrible, but actually isn't really so bad after all. So, it's worth thinking a little bit of what does some of this language mean here. So just in case you're getting confused, c of x there, that is function c with a variable x. That's all that language there means, okay? And we call it c of x, all right? So we're told that c of x equals the fixed costs plus the variable costs, okay? It's the rent to your factory, and that's whatever the materials going into the machine. And they tell us all this stuff, and grand, all right? Now, eventually, what we're going to look at here is that we know that our marginal costs, okay? So we're given this formula, another formula, with the variable being x, is 74 plus 1.1x plus 0.03 x squared. All right, and we're told that this is the rate of change, and that is just the change in costs as x increases. Okay, so with all of that done there, all we're really going to do is integrate this bad boy. Okay. So we'll bring the x over there. See, so I'll leave the c's on this side. It's a little bit neater on the left hand side. So imagine I just flip the whole thing around. So I end up with c equals 74 plus 1.1x plus 0.03 x squared dx. So that's just a little bit of a rearrangement of what we have there. Now, here I'm going to use constants. All right. I'm sure you could do this with limits, but constants just seems like a slightly more natural fit for this one here, all right? And you'll see why, because you'll see what the constant ends up being, all right? So we'll integrate these guys here, integrate. So I end up with c equals 74x plus 1.1x squared over 2 plus 0.03 x cubed over 3. That was very nice of them. Plus a fixed, and I've already got c over here, so let's just call it k. Okay, k is my constant. All right, now let's remember what this is. C is the cost of making something. All right, so we know that if c equals 0, then, if x equals 0, oh, look at that, very nice, then the cost of something, so if we're not making anything, your factory is silent, like many factories are at the moment as we film this in lockdown, the cost is your fixed costs. Okay, that's all that's left is a rent. All right, so c was 0, all of these guys are going to equal 0, and that means my constant is f, the fixed costs in the factory. So now I have my value function for c. All right, c, put in a c of x, just a reminder, you don't really have to, but c of x, see the function, the cost, which is a function of x, I need coffee, is 74x plus 0.55 x squared plus 0.01 x cubed plus the fixed costs. Now, so there we go. All right, this is my cost function, and that's part 1. Lovely. All right, how do we start to use this one? Part 2. Now, when you're kind of seeing this difference between 160 and 120, again, you might think limits, and I'm sure you could do it that way. However, we're just going to keep it really simple. We're going to look at how much does 160 cost, how much do 120 cost, and subtract them. So, the way we'd write this out is c of 160, so when x is 160, all right, that is 74 by 160, okay, a little bit tedious, but plus f. All right, now we'll crank all of that into our calculators. Okay, and actually save us all a little bit of time in our lives. I'm going to do one I prepared earlier, and that is 66880 plus f. All right, now what about c of 120? Oops, c of 120. Same whole thing again, 120, 0.55 by 120 squared. I don't know why I'm putting this in brackets, but hey, we've started, so let's finish. 120 Q plus F, squeezing in on the side. And again, just to do a tiny little bit cheat, instead of saving us watching me do this on a calculator, that is, of course, 34,080 plus F. Question is asking us for the difference. So C160 minus C120 is 66,880 plus F minus 34,080 plus F. You see the F's will cancel out a little bit, and we end up just looking, do this on the calculator, 66,880 minus 34,080, and that is going to be 32,000 euros 800. Okay, and we're going to increase the cost, so we'll just stick a little bit of our units in this one. Our units, of course, are euros. So that's part 2. Now for part 3, again, much the same thing. If C of 10 is 3,500, find the fixed costs. Well, C of 10, bit of a nicer number to work with, is 74 by 10 plus 0.55 by 100 plus 0.01 by 1,000 plus F. Okay, we're told C of 10 is 3,500 in the question. All right, so 740 plus 55 plus 1. All right, plus 10 plus F. Add all of those up. Okay, there we go. It's 805 plus F. So F then is, of course, 2,695. There we go. Not too bad a question at all. All right. So again, just getting used to the language in these things, like what we mean by C of X and so on. And this one falls out really tidily.